Donald Trump once thought Nepal and Bhutan were both part of India. Well, that day, the world became aware about Trump's knowledge of geography. And today, US President is making historians scratch their heads. Well, once again, Donald Trump is weaving a web of historical distortions and geopolitical fantasies. This time, it's around Afghanistan's Bagram Air Base. And interestingly, these falsehoods are so glaring that even his usual defenders are struggling to find takers for his audacious claims. Well, the US president has threatened Afghanistan with ominous bad things unless they return Bagram to those that built it. Of course, he means the United States. But there's one huge problem with Trump's narrative. America didn't build this very airbase. Well, the uncomfortable truth that Trump seems determined to ignore is that Bagram Air Base was constructed in 1950s by the Soviet Union. Well, this isn't some obscure historical detail buried in classified documents. It's basic, verifiable history that took geopolitical analysts mere seconds to debunk with just a Wikipedia screenshot. Well, the Soviets built Bagram during the Cold War as part of their influence operations in Afghanistan, and it served as their primary military hub during the 1979 to 1989 occupation, launching thousands of combat missions against the Mujahideen. Well, Trump's claims become even more absurd when we examine the actual timeline of American involvement. US forces took control of this very airbase in December 2001, following the invasion of Afghanistan after 9/11. For nearly 2 decades from 2001 to July 2021, the United States transformed the Soviet-built facility into what became and what we now know as a military city, complete with 2 massive runways, barracks, hospitals, shopping center, and even Pizza Hut and Burger King. And at its peak, this very airbase housed more than 1 lakh American personnel and served as the epicenter of US operations in Afghanistan. The base's significance cannot be understated. 3 US presidents, including George W. Bush, Barack Obama, and Trump himself visited this very airbase. Not to forget, Joe Biden also visited this facility back in 2011 as the vice president. The Bagram facility became America's largest military installation in Afghanistan, featuring an 11,800-foot runway capable of handling bombers and heavy cargo aircraft. But calling it American-built is like claiming ownership of a house you have renovated after moving decades later. Trump's rationale for wanting Bagram back centers on his obsession with containing China, especially his repeated claim that the base is an hour away from where China makes its nuclear weapons. Trump has consistently framed Bagram not as an Afghanistan issue but as a China containment tool, declaring we were going to keep Bagram not because of Afghanistan but because of China. His fixation on Chinese nuclear facilities reflect broader concerns about China's rapid nuclear expansion, from about 300 warheads a few years ago to an estimate of 500 today, with massive ICBM silos fields being constructed in remote western regions. The problem with Trump's Bagram gambit extends far beyond his lack of historical knowledge. There are simply no serious takers for his falsehood-laden demands. The Taliban have categorically rejected any possibility of renewed American military presence, with Defense Minister Mohammad Yaqub bluntly stating, if you don't leave and want bases, we are ready to fight for another 20 years. In fact, Afghan Foreign Ministry officials have also dismissed Trump's threat entirely, emphasizing that Afghans not have accepted a military presence in history, and this possibility was completely rejected during the Doha talks. Well, the world is witnessing yet another chapter in Trump's pattern of rewriting history to fit his political narrative. But this time, the stakes involve potential military confrontation in one of the world's most volatile regions. Now, with no credible experts backing his claims and the Taliban ready to resist any American return, Trump's Bagram fantasy stands as a testament to the dangers of leadership untethered from historical reality or strategic coherence.